Hey, look, somebody asked me a question. I better answer it. Hey, it's Aaron from AaronOnAutos.com coming at you again. Coming at you again with another answer to somebody's question. This is a different person asking me about battery electric vehicles and which company in the mainstream, so which regular automobile manufacturer could outsell a Tesla, the Tesla models. Specifically what they said is which automobile manufacturer has the best chance of releasing a BEV that will outsell any of Tesla's models. So there's a couple things with this question. First, it's assuming that the Tesla is the best seller. Tesla is not the best seller. The best-selling electric vehicle of all time has been the Nissan Leaf. Still being produced, still being sold. But that aside, for a couple of quarters, so we'll say that, for a couple of quarters, Tesla's, specifically their Model 3, has been outselling most other sedans, let alone other electric vehicles. There are a lot of reasons for that. No point in going into them right now. What the question is who could, what other automotive manufacturer could beat Tesla at the EV game? Well, first thing we have to do is we have to understand where electric vehicles fit in today's market. Right now, electric vehicles are they're just under 2% of total automotive sales in the US and just under 2.5% of the global sales. So that's including China, where they're really taken off, and Europe, where they're basically mandated at this point. So think about that. They're a tiny, tiny, tiny portion. They're growing, but it's going to be a while. At current growth rates, we've still got at least 15 years before they're a large segment of the automotive market. To put that into perspective, Ford literally makes as many F-Series trucks in 1 month as Tesla makes vehicles in 3 months. So just one truck is outselling all Teslas 3-1. Just remember that. So that's a little bit of perspective just on what the market overall is doing with electrics. It's also kind of an explainer as to why there hasn't been a giant leap into electrics by mainstream automotive. It's a lot of money up front in terms of R&D and a lot of other stuff for a likely minimal return at this point. It's going to change, but right now that's how it is. That's the business. So I could go into reasons why, say, the Model 3 is selling. I think I talked about that. And I said why it's the second best-selling sedan, period, no matter the powertrain. But I don't think that's the point here. The point here is to ask which manufacturer would do it. And to be really frank, I don't know. I can't tell you that. What I can tell you is that the first manufacturer to sell a small or compact crossover that is mainstream competitive, very important point, has to be mainstream competitive, which means it has to be equivalent to the current bestsellers: Nissan Rogue, Toyota RAV4, Honda CR-V. Those are the three bestsellers in those segments, the small and compact crossovers. So they have to be competitive with that. I don't know of anybody who's doing that yet, anybody who even plans on it, because the Tesla Model Y is not competitive. People can argue otherwise, but the truth is it is not. For the same reason the Model X is not competitive as a crossover in the larger segment, because it's not utilitarian. There is very little utilitarian about it. It has the wrong body shape. It has the wrong ergonomics. It has the wrong price point, everything. So until somebody can make a small or compact crossover SUV that is competitive with the mainstream sellers right now at the price point they're selling, so it needs to be somewhere under the $30,000 range. The average Nissan Rogue, for example, sells for about $26,000. The average RAV4 sells for just under that, somewhere around 24.5, 25, etc. They have to compete at that level. So that is not an easy task. You have to be able to give people roughly equivalent range. It's got to be somewhere around 200 miles. You got to at least, that's the bare minimum. It's got to be at least that. You got to have ergonomics and utilitarian design that are on par with these others. So it's got to have the same kind of cargo capability. It's got to have the same kind of people hauling capability, etc. You got to have all of that stuff. You can make fast and you can make pretty and you can make all that stuff, but that's a niche, small chunk of sellers. That's the one thing, that's the thing that has to happen for any electric small crossover to be truly competitive. And it's what has to happen for any electric vehicle maker to truly dominate or have a chance of owning a large chunk or taking over in a market. The companies that I see doing that, possibly, I don't think, so we can't count luxury makes. So we have to throw BMW out. We have to throw out Mercedes and so forth. Companies that are electrifying, but we have to throw them out because those are luxury vehicles. They are not mainstream. To go to mainstream, I can only think of two companies right now that really have the capability of making this happen. First one is Nissan. They already have the best seller, right? They already have the Leaf. And it's just a matter of expanding that and creating a crossover out of it. They already have the best-selling crossover, right? So in this segment. So why not? There's no reason for them not to do it, except there has to be a return on that investment. And if there are not going to be enough buyers, they are not going to put it out there. That's how business operates. So Nissan will take risks, but that's a big leap. That's a big risk. And I honestly am dubious as to whether or not they would actually do that. The other company would be Volkswagen. And the reason I say Volkswagen is because they've been very aggressive publicly about going electric. The caveat to that is they've been talking aggressively, but they haven't been aggressive. So in other words, so far, Volkswagen has talked a big game, but they haven't actually played the game, right? So until we see one, they're talking. They're no better than anybody else. So that's my assessment. That's what I'm saying to answer this question, which was asked by David Westebe. I guess that's how you say your name. I hope I'm not butchering it too bad. But yeah, the auto manufacturer that has the best chance of releasing a BEV that would outsell a Tesla, all the Tesla models or any Tesla model. My frank answer is it's going to need to be in the best-selling segment, which is 1, pickup trucks, 2, small and compact crossover SUVs. So it has to compete in one of those two segments. I already did a video on pickup trucks and why that's not going to happen anytime soon because there are huge obstacles to that. But, so that would leave crossover SUVs and small crossover SUVs particularly. And there's my answer. That's who I think could or would not do it. That's what I got. So there you go. If you got questions, ask them. You can comment down here. You can subscribe while you're at it. You can like it. You can, so comment down here, look me up, find me wherever, social media, somewhere else, email me, whatever, or find me on Quora. I get a lot of questions through Quora, and I often answer them on Quora, and then some of those, like this one, are translating into a video like this. So if you have questions for me, if you want to know, I work in automotive. I'm an automotive journalist. I have experience with all the brands. I look at the overall everything, and I have a background that includes commercial vehicles as well as electrics and a lot of other stuff, mechanics, all kinds of things. Please don't ask me questions like, what's the timing order for a 2000 Honda Civic? Please don't ask me stuff you could just Google, all right? But if you want my opinion on something, have at it. All right. This has been Aaron on autos.com. Talk to you again soon.